So how do you draw that back into a professional working situation? What do you think you bring back to the workplace that would be as a result of the experience that you've had that will improve the way that either you work with your marketing department, with your partner agencies, or with your other suppliers?
One is that first, when I look at the situation of COVID-19, one of my biggest lessons is that you need to be open, you need to be flexible, and then you need to be agile. Because in situations like this, so many people do not even know what to do with their brands. But then, being very agile and being very predictive of what could happen, we know that we only have the window of digital. So digital created a window for us to continue with our marketing communication. And then we translated all our plans, offline marketing plans, and then we adapted them to the digital space. Right. Because even in lockdown, we need to understand what is the shift in consumer behavior.
Right.
What are the consumers doing now? Where are they focusing their effort? What are the things that we could do to still engage them? And then I did a lot of research. I learned a lot of things from research agencies, Kantar, Brand, and the rest, in terms of what are the attitudes, consumer attitudes during a pandemic or during emergency period.
Right.
And from there, we begin to tailor our brand activities, even though it is online driven. But how do we do it in such a way that we connect with the consumers who are sitting down at home, locked down, with no opportunity of moving around? How do we still present our brands? So what that tells me that whatever the situation is, there is always a way out. There is always a way out. No matter how terrible the situations present itself, there's always a way out. So as a marketing practitioner, it is left for me to figure out how do I still engage the consumers even when they are seated at home. So digital came to play, digital came to help. And then we started, communicating and engaging our consumers via the digital space.
So one of the challenges that marketing professionals have always faced was the idea of measurement, and more so in a situation like this. And I think what you said initially, understanding human behavior, understanding what drives human behavior, building those insights are very important. How do you see that shift happening, especially within our markets in the continent? We see a lot of price promotions, really driven through more around the only metrics that we can measure, which is sales, and far less around brand equity, salient brand measurements. How do you see this shift happening now?
We know that without marketing, sales will find it very difficult, because the part of the job for marketing is to make selling superfluous. Marketing is like in the battlefield, is like a jet bomber who goes over the top of the mountain and shell the enemies, while the sales guys put the boots on the ground. But when it comes to measurement, because brand equity building is not something that happens in a day or in a week or in a month, so most times people kind of like see it as what you're doing is they are not feeling the immediate impact, but it is there. We know that global brands that have made it into the world stage, that have become iconic, became iconic because they were built on the platform of strong marketing communication. And I tell people that with some key measurements like a brand health trackers, you can actually measure the impact of your marketing communication, especially your TV, your radio, your other aspect of above the line advertising, and how it does connect with the consumers. You can measure them, but it's something that most often that are measured on quarterly basis. versus the sales that you can see either on daily basis or weekly basis. And I tell people, without a strong brand equity or building a strong brand, you are just renting volume. It will just take a little while when a strong brand with a strong credential comes into the market and you find out that you can't stand the storm. So it is, marketing can still be measured. The marketing efforts are measurable using the brand health scores. And then you can also see the impact in the retail audit numbers. So I believe it is measurable, but it is not as instant and as immediate that as you can see the outcome of a salesman who goes into trade and he sells volumes of items in one day. Marketing effect on brands measured using the brand health trackers comes true, depending on the calendars of the companies. Some measure on quarterly basis, some measure on half-year basis, and some measure on a bi-monthly basis. But you will see the impact of your communication in the brand health scores.
That's excellent. And now my final question to you, going forward. How do you see the relationship between yourselves and your partner agencies?
Let me use this analogy to explain the partnership, the relationship between marketing people and our agency. A very poorly trained brand manager, a very poorly trained, a very, very poor brand manager can appear very excellent if he has a very strong agency partnering with him.
Right.
When you have a very strong agency who knows what to do, they cover the shame of a very poorly trained brand manager. Then flip the coin. An intelligent, very resourceful marketing person can be very frustrated if he has a very bad agency.
Right.
So what does this thing tell you? Marketing professionals and partner agencies are in a very symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic in the sense that each and every one of them needs the other. Because you can be a very good brand person, but if you have a very bad agency, you're not going to come through into the market. But if you're equally a very good, well-trained, hands-on brand person and you have a very bad agency, sorry, you're still going to fail. So marketing people need agency people need marketing people. Because again, a very good brand person can actually help the agency, put them on their toes, be very demanding, tell them what he wants them to do.
That's right.
So it's a mutually collaborative relationship.
They need to work.
We all need to survive. They need to work together.
And I think what we are seeing is that over the years, we've lost that touch where it's seen as a relationship. And I think the way that we've run the departments has created a divide between strong marketing agencies and strong brand marketers. And it's our role to try and bring this together because that's where strong brand building happens.
Yeah, until you have this understanding that it is not a master-servant relationship.
That's right.
Until you have that understanding that because you're on the client side today does not make you a master. And because someone is on the agency side does not make he or she a servant. It is not a master-servant relationship. It is a symbiotic relationship. Each person needs the other to survive because there are things that we don't know, the agency people know. And you have a very strong agency and you're a strong brand person, you build a very strong brand.
Yeah.
But in either way, there is a lack in each side, there is always a problem.
Thank you for sharing that, because one of the things that we really like to do is to see brands within the continent taking dominance and really growing, because when brands grow, businesses grow. When businesses grow, communities grow. So responsibility for strong brands is not just about the little business that, you know, we're running, but it's really around driving the economies of markets and businesses and countries. Emmanuel, that was really fantastic. Thank you so much for making the time to be on my Soko Chats. And we are looking forward to having you again on the show.